And welcome back. It's that early morning Sunday show. It's the channel that is preferred by busy bees from around the world. So, hey, guess that makes you a busy bee. Pretty damn awesome. Well, you need that. Some mornings more than others. I even found a new record store this week. It wasn't in Denver. I think I have finally tapped Denver out. Yeah, I think I have. I think I just did my last one up from Denver. Now I really gotta travel. So, but with fall, the thing of fall in the United States now is Halloween. Halloween, we've gone insane. We have decided that we're going to put hundreds and hundreds of dollars into decorations. Now, don't get me wrong. These are pretty cool looking, a lot of this stuff. I mean, it's like, ooh, wow, that's something else. I mean, oh, that's scary. But, you know, Christmas, you know, still people love decorate for Christmas, but what they spend on Halloween decorations, now it's a smaller minority, but it's expanding. The amount of stuff coming out is expanding. And so I went to my first shop. I'm going to show you these as we go, as I hit places, because it's mind-blowing what they're coming up with. So I went to Lowe's. This is for home repair. But they also do a lot of Halloween, Christmas. So take a look at this. Here's the newest stuff coming from Lowe's at just incredibly low prices. You can buy a lot of records. Well, sometimes you can buy one record for one of these, but here it goes.
Why the long face? Here's a reason to cry. Forbidden place.
Join me, and fear not, for I am here to heal and protect you from the plague.
Oh, you dare step into my presence? You've stumbled into a realm where trespassers are met with curses. Don't be scared. Come closer and face your fears in this field of nightmare.
Let me taste your precious soul. The next sunrise is far away, and we can play together in the pale shadows of night.
This time, I will lift your sorrow.
Walk no further. Death surrounds you.
How nice of you to visit me. What's thou dare to perish deliciously?
Oh, well, isn't that perfect for the front yard? Did you find something you want? I don't know. I don't think Europe, I'm pretty sure, or around the world, the rest of you get into Halloween like we do. And now, I'm not buying any of that stuff. Though, I got to tell you, it's kind of tempting, but what do you do with it afterwards? How the hell do you store that up? I'm sure it kind of breaks down, but even the boxes kind of be big. I mean, it's nuts, man. It's just nuts. They have these gigantic inflatables. They have these inflatable. And I should have took a picture of that. It's taller than a house. Well, what are we going to do that in Colorado? It gets these winds. These winds come off the mountains. That thing's going to take off. And you're going to find that out in Massachusetts the next day. Holy smokes, man. It's just weird, but it is pretty cool. You gotta admit, it's cool, and you could have a lot of fun if you want to spend a lot of money. Okay, but now let's get into records, all right? Because we got records to do. We're going to begin with brand new, just got it in, from Fuzz Club. We have Los Palms. Look at that. We got a gun. We got guys on the back. Los Palms is from Adelaide, Australia. I think that's out where it's really hot, kind of dry and deserty. They formed in 2019. This is their second LP, and it's self-titled. There's that thread going on, self-titled albums that aren't your first album. Well, here you have one. This is out of Los Palms. It's a 5-piece on what they call themselves a romantic desert jangle band. Well, there's something new for you, isn't it? Let's see. Hey, here we go. You can always count on Fuzz Club for that. So, whoever wants that, go ahead, key that in. Early birds get the worm. And got the lyrics on here. And always Fuzz Club has that. This has, look at that, number 7 of 350. Man, hey, we're right on top. Kind of wonder if they do it in alphabetical order. Maybe there's not a lot of A's and B's. But so this album, it's kind of you'll find in here some kind of 60s garage rock feel. Spaghetti Western definitely has that vibe going on, and some psych music. You get all that kind of tossed in here. Crying Shame was like one. That was on the second side, and it really does have this kind of this garage rock from the 60s. You get that. That's not the norm on this. A lot of it's more cinematic. Sorrows and 1133, that's the name of the thing, do have this real cinematic type feel to the music with just loads and loads of reverb. I mean, they brought in a semi-truck of reverb and dropped it on this album. A couple of the albums, you kind of get a feel like from groups like Night Beats, I think might be out of Austria, or even Los Psychos. And Los Psychos is a garage rock out of Peru. It has that kind of vibe to it. The music on this, for the most part, is really laid back, and it's made for lovers of fuzz and reverb. If that's your thing and you like that kind of music, really, you could find this very, very enjoyable. It's not hard rocking, but it's not super mellow either. It's just this cool vibe going on, like a spaghetti western. Really enjoyed this thing. So Los Palms, this is not their debut, but it's their self-titled album. Cool stuff. Yeah. My thing popped out again. Okay, back in you go. That's a reissue that just came out, and I don't know how I ran into it, but I did. You want the hottest band in the land? You want the hottest band in the world? Utah Saints. That's how they started one of their songs. Man, this thing came out in 1992. Utah Saints out of the UK, formed in 91, still going. They've only done 2 LPs, but you want 12-inch singles? The Utah Saints have done plenty of them. Definitely electronica. Man, pure electronica. It's a duo, just a couple DJs there. Electronic, house, trip hop, trance. They're doing it all. And they make it in a very shiny cover. And I remember when this thing came out, I bought the CD and I loved it. I mean, it was so neat. Ooh, or whatever. And I think that it's just black vinyl. But for lovers of labels, there we go. That's kind of a different one. London label. This was big. And when they started, they called themselves MDMA, which was Mega Dance Metal Allegiance. I'm glad they switched it to Utah Saints. Everything's just a little too much. But they have sampled everything from Kate Bush to Slayer. They really were good at sampling. The other part with their sampling, especially in vocals, is the way they would twist it and turn it. It create whole different sounds. They could just take something and really make it go a different way. This is their self-titled album that came out in 1992. And it really got me into the whole electronics thing. You know, I'm still kind of young. You know, I was 33 years old then when this thing's popping out, and just looking for new kind of music. And this thing, I mean, it's just packed with joyous electronic, and it rave up, man. It's just, you just ha 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 ha. You know, one of those. It's good for exercise, I think. You know, considering it was over 40 years ago, it's probably being used to exercise in many senior citizen centers now. But it'd be good for it. Maybe my mom does it. So, they had 2 big hits off here. Something Good and What Can You Do For Me? The song Something Good, they sampled the vocals of Kate Bush. And they took these snippets and they kept popping it in there. And, you know, Something Good For Me. It sounds wonderful. There was a thing that saying one time that Kate Bush was suing them because they hadn't got their approval for using her lyrics. They had. So, I mean, they did not get sued. In fact, she kind of liked it. The other song that was big, What Can You Do For Me? Uses Annie Lennox's vocals. Again, just snippets of her vocals, and they pop them in there. Sounds wonderful. Both of those songs are just great. Really, you know, I downloaded them already, but this is the album. This album does make me happy. It is a 2-album set because at that time, you know, electronic trance music, we had the CDs that come out, so you can just go on. You can make them go and last forever because that's what it was all about. Now don't really need all of it because there is filler in here. I think some of it definitely, you know, you could take out. But overall, I really enjoyed this. This was a great album when it came out. It's still a great album. It's still just fun to listen to. So for those lovers of electronic music, the Utah Saints, because they are, as it says in the song, the hottest band in the world. The Utah Saints. One of you recommended this out of the UK, and I can't remember who it was. Sorry. I've been trying to write some of these down, but I'm terrible. I just I watch a lot of videos at work. I write it down on a Post-it note, then something else gets on the Post-it note, whatever the case. But he recommended the Meteors. They're out of the UK, formed in 1980, still going, from London. They've put out 24 LPs, and this is their second one, called Wrecking Crew. And this is the one that was recommended that I get it. This is a reissue. It's a German reissue. It came out, I believe, around 2000. Maybe a little before that. And it's, it has some bangs and dings on here. I had to order this. You have to save the vinyl sticker there. It's fun. But it's psychobilly. And that's where they said, you like psychobilly, try the Meteors, and you need to try Wrecking Crew. So I did. And it does have such great songs as Insane, Zombie Noise, Rattlesnake Daddy. We got Sick Things, the new Wild Thing on here, Mutant Rock. So we have that. Hills Have Eyes. So you do get this. And when so what it is a blend of garage rock, surf, rockabilly with horror film lyrics put in. Not everything has horror film lyrics, just some of it. When they first started, they were just shunned. People weren't booking them or whatever because they thought they were too spooky and menacing. But the Cramps had already been to UK and they got books. Oh, what the hell. But this is it's kind of a good mix of horror with rockabilly, and also or what they call, they say psychobilly. And, they said, we are the greatest psychobilly band. Honestly, they're more Billy than Psycho. See, I think you get more Billy on here than Psycho, but it still is psychobilly. And this, what you're going to get an album, you want the psychobilly, I was told, and from what I've read, this is the one to get. They do a version of Wild Thing on here, very much a rockabilly rave up of Wild Thing, and they just mash it up. Not bad. This was a fun album to get. Doesn't cost a ton of money. Look how mean they look. They got their bats and sticks and crap. They're going to go beat some people up because it's the Meteors. So thank you for the recommendation. I get a lot of recommendations. I try to look it up and listen to the music because there's so much great stuff out there that obviously I haven't a clue about. The Meteors out of the UK.
Love you once upon a time, but now you made me lose my mind. I'm insane. Well, you better run. Well, I used to think that I loved you forever. Well, I always thought that, darling, that you would be true. Well, I didn't think we'd be apart, not ever.
Here we go. Yeah, something. And now for something completely different. You've been asking about what happened with the punk in South Africa. Gosh, I want to know about punk music in South Africa. Well, here it is, finally, the African Corpse. This deals with punk music that came out in the late 70s out of South Africa. Nothing special on the inside, nothing there. 10 punk bands from the Republic of South Africa. And they are all white because it was in the 1970s. There was a tape done by a French label in 1983, a cassette tape, that this all came out on, almost like a bootleg. And so now they've taken this cassette and they have made it into vinyl. So this is a compilation. You have a Wild Youth who formed in 78 on here. Ultra White Lovers. Oh, in South Africa, there you go. Dead Babies, Gay Marines, Wild Justice, Private File. I know these are all ones you know. Raptors, Wasp, Spike, Leopard. Yeah, a variety. Interesting album. The quality of recording is all over the ballpark. A few of these, you know, like Wild Youth, the very first Wild Youth one sounds like it was done in the studio. Very clean. But some of these sound like someone had just a really cheap cassette player, went into a concert, turned it on. It is so muddled, so do it yourself. You know, that's the feeling you get off of it. Yeah, it's some of the recordings are pretty tough, but others are all right. You know, they do another Wild Youth one. You know, that one, it was hard to listen to. You just couldn't hear much of it. Just the clarity wasn't there. Very, very muddled. But then, as I said, some sound pretty good. An interesting album. I wish they could have like blown up this. I mean, you really can't read a lot of this, and well, I guess, you know, you really have to. Yeah, it's tiny print. So just something different. Compilation of punk rock out of South Africa. You can definitely hear a Sex Pistols type feel. In fact, one of the song bands on here just sounds like, let's just do the Sex Pistol type sound, and that's what they sound like. So Africa Corp, yeah, late 70s punk rock from South Africa. Brings us to our next one that is not from South Africa, but from down south. So it's still south. R.L. Burnside, Ass Pocket of Whiskey. Now that's a name for you. Ass Pocket of Whiskey. R.L. Burnside, you know, I've talked about him before. You know, he really came in, you know, discovered late. You know, he just had his own little juke joint in that, and someone went in, found it, and go, oh, wow, this is pretty good. Not much on the label. There, Fat Possum, who's done a number of these older blues guys that have been found. But John Spencer Blues Explosion that band had been featuring R.L. Burnside as an opening act. And so they decided, why don't we just do an album together? And so they brought in John Spencer Blues Explosion and R.L. Burnside, and they put this album out. And, you know, John Spencer Blues Explosion is kind of a post-punk band with a kind of a southern type feel to it. Well, they went in and they recorded this in one afternoon. Let's just sit down, let's do it, pound it out, and we were done with it, which is what they did. And you can see them there they are, they're working hard on it. And this is highly charged, overamped blues. Yeah, the timekeeping on it is really good. The drummer just keeps it going, and they have this circulating guitar that just keeps bringing it back, the kind of the rhythm going on. Lots and lots of fuzzy guitar work happening in this. John Spencer Blues Explosion are not known to be like the greatest instrumentalists, but what they lack in that is they bring in power and attitude, which this is filled with. You know, it has Going Down South, which is wonderful. They do classics like Boogie Chillin', but it is sure not no John Lee Hooker happening here. You got Snake Drive, Shake 'em Down. Tojo Toad Hitler, which is different. The very last song, Have You Ever Been Lonely, goes on for 5 minutes. It's the stupidest, dumbest thing. You could tell they ran out of material, but they needed something to put on. And so it's like them just jamming and banging on stuff and making howling noises. And yeah, it's like, what the heck are you doing? It is a complete garbage throwaway. It should, you know what, just make the album shorter and don't put that on. But they're obviously having a good time being stupid in the studio. So it kind of is a bummer. Luckily, it's the very last song on side 2. By then, I'm usually falling asleep anyway. So there we go. R.L. Burnside, Ass Pocket of Whiskey. Fun stuff. Yeah, there's not a lot of R.L. Burnsides I need. I think I got 3, maybe 4 of his albums. Good to go. Final one. Let's just change it up. It's the Dixie Chicks. I like the Dixie Chicks, or as they're called now, the Chicks. Let's be right for them, the Chicks. But then they were called the Dixie Chicks. And then we went a little too far. So they formed in 1991, I believe? No, 1989 is when they formed. Here we go. And they were, called the Dixie Chicks, and they were going to a lot of little, rodeos and fairs, and they were all dressed up in their cowboy, cowgirl costumes, fringe and that. Well, their lead singer left, and in '95 they brought in Natalie Maines, and their music changed. They got rid of the cowgirl dresses, and they added more rock and blues feel to their music. And you get a lot of that. This is their debut album, came out in 1998, and it was a pop crossover. 10 million sold. So people really liked what they were hearing on here. There's Americana, you get some alt country, and even some 70s soft rock is felt in here. Songs like Let Her Rip, I really, really like. There's just this rocking swagger to the music. Tonight the Heartache's on Me. That just has a honky-tonk shuffle to it. Wide Open Spaces, the title track, it's just bright and optimistic. A good album. Their second album had, of course, the big song about killing Earl, but this is where they really became known. And I was 10 million. You go from playing the little rodeo or county fair to suddenly selling 10 million albums. Life changes big time. So, yeah, thought I'd just pick that up. I only need a couple of their albums, but I do like their music. The Dixie Chicks.
We don't have to drag out the situation. It wasn't you, it wasn't me. Sometimes the chemistry don't ignite. There ain't no rings, no mortgage, there ain't any complications. It's just a hyphenated word, get it out, I'm sure I'll be alright. Let it rip, let it fly. Come on, baby, say it, do you think I'm gonna cry?
I think that was a nice cross-section of music this week. We went from electronics to country to punk to blues. So, yeah, usual listening pattern. But thank you very much for taking the time to watch and stop by. Hoping you're all having a great week. But as always, appreciate everyone. Drop a comment. Let me know what you like, don't like, or something I need to listen to. Bye.